Good morning, guys. It's Saturday, and I'm leaving Walmart. My poor printer. I went through that toner cartridge, so I had to go get some more because I can't print out new labels. My sister is up this week and helping me out, and so she'll be at the farmers market with me tomorrow at Indian Acres. And yeah, so at some point later today, we'll start packing in the car. They postponed it from today because of all the rain. And so, but yeah, she's been helping me bump up seedlings. We bumped up some of the Mother's Day, or like I said, like the value packs of zinnias I'm doing and that sort of thing. So I ran out of soil, so I got 2 more bags of Promix BX. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm thinking today, maybe this evening, I'll take her to like Lambertville for dinner or something like that. So see you guys later. Hey guys, so it is 6 something or whatever time it is, and my sister and I are out here prepping for the market tomorrow. Oh, okay. um, when I printed out, put the early things out here, I didn't have barcodes on them, so we're adding barcodes. So let me flip the camera around because it's me out here, my sister's out here, and so is the dog. Okay, so there's my sister over there, and there's the dog. He's sitting on frost cloth. But my sister is from South Carolina, so you know, the 64-degree temperature is a little, and the wind is a little chilly. Actually, I'm wearing a sweatshirt too, but so anyway, she's a little chilly, but we're getting it done. We are getting it done, and here's the rest of the nursery. I added stuff here, there, so actually goes beyond that structure. So lots of stuff out here. So anyway, gotta crack on. It's not 8 o'clock. Okay, guys, I'm all set up. There's my sister. There's the table. We got the square machine. Let me show you guys how to get to where we are. If you come, I don't even know what aisle we're in.
Well, you know what? Like that's the part. The thing is, like
I'm kind of towards the end of the aisle, but that's okay.
I'll come by. I know I want to come by. Look, I haven't gone anywhere. I just finished setting up, and I was like,
So, oops.
Good morning. You're just gonna pull right up the lane here, and you park on either side. Why go left? Wherever you
Okay, guys, so that's the entrance down there. And so I'm down. See, guys coming in. I'm like 1, 2. So if you're looking at tents, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm down here. So there's the playland. So I'm basically one full row in the playland and all the way down. So okay, guys. So I'm all set up. So I'll see you guys later. Hopefully. Bye. Okay, guys, so it's time to talk about the second market. Now, those of you guys who've already seen my video on, you know, the whole choosing a farmer's market process will probably recognize this market from that video. So Indian Acres they call it a farm mall. So there's lots of different, so because there's lots of different shops with lots of different things. Not, but it also definitely had a very flea market feel to it because although there were things that were new, like for example, I had, you know, obviously my plants were new and that sort of thing. There were a lot of people who had, you know, antiques that they, you know, collected. And when I say antiques, I mean things like more like collectibles, nothing like no fine antiques. I did find an oil painting there. As a matter of fact, you know what? I gotta go find that oil painting. It's somewhere in my stash. I have to actually put it up. But I did find an oil painting. This woman apparently had been collecting them. She had like a bedroom full of them, so she was just trying to, you know, get rid of them. And so I picked a nice one. And then I'm trying to think. yeah, so it was a lot of trinkets and, people who do handmade, did handmade things. Also, for the example, the girl next to me, I'm trying to think what kind of, I know she made some like beaded bracelets, and then I want to say she had maybe like little stuffies for little kids, or maybe, and maybe like little things for like pets, like little, blankets or that sort of thing. So, but basically, they didn't really care what type of vendor you were; they just took you. So originally, the market was supposed to be on a Saturday, and it was supposed to rain, and that is not a rain or market, as a rain or shine market. So they canceled that Saturday. Now, the thing is, because of how the first market went, I was a little bit concerned because, I had, like I said, 27 transactions over a 3 hour period, and this market was a lot longer. It started at 8 and was going to end at 2. So this was going to be 6 hours. And so the way I was looking at it is like, okay, I know I put it out there. I know there's a number of people who were just like, oh, I go to that one all the time. I can't wait to see you there. I'm ready. And I was sitting there going, okay, so it's going to be longer, And so on one hand, that could have meant that basically, because people had a longer time to shop, people wouldn't necessarily rush all at once, or it could have meant that I had ended up with twice the amount of people there. So wasn't really sure how that was going to go, but I was a little bit concerned. So my sister flew up to give me a hand. And so, because I had the, the square stand, I did go find on Amazon a used, this is a barcode scanner that works with Square. So I had this, my sister helped me put the barcodes on the new stuff that I was taking, because certain things I hadn't put barcodes on yet. And so the plan was we would have the stand, and basically that would be the cash and card, and of course I would have my phone, and then I would do card transactions on my phone. Now this particular place, it wasn't like a farmer's market where basically you set up your table and your car's parked elsewhere. This was one of those things where you pulled your car into your stall. So basically, you would have your little table set up, and then you would have your car behind you. If I was, I could have, like, for example, if I had taken like a truck, I could have, or like a van, I could have had a lot of stuff and just kind of like refreshed it from the van. And of course you could sit in your car and that sort of thing. And the other thing is, like, with my having my phone, if needs be, I could have charged my phone in my car, since I was, I was right there. So, I was like, okay, great. But then that Friday night, they canceled and said we're going to do it on Sunday. And so we got up that morning, went there, and that was I didn't think about it at that time because this was only my second market. But, there was a lot of people missing, and I knew that there was a lot of spaces that were empty because it got changed to Sunday, and, people, had committed to Saturday, and, not, maybe, who knows what was going on with people on Sunday. Now, of course, what I didn't realize is that for people who do these markets and do a lot of them, they have their schedule. So it's not uncommon for people to have a place they go on Saturday, and then a place they go on Sunday, because obviously, especially if you've been doing it for a while, what markets, where you make the most money. And so, the Saturday crowd and Sunday crowd are going to be different. And if you've done it for a while, you're going to know, okay, well, Sunday for me is best at this location. So at the end of the day, if they change the date, not everybody's going to go. So when we were sitting out there, they had all of the, everything marked off. And when I looked and saw all the little flags and how far they went out, I just realized, how much of this field was empty and that there should have been a lot more cars, because we were close to the end of the aisle. And when I looked, at that aisle, I could see, oh, wait, actually, those cars should have gone all the way down to almost the woods. And so there could have been a lot more vendors there. So that is something that I've realized. So in future, if I'm ever doing a market somewhere and they cancel for a Saturday and they kick it on to a different day, that's one of those things I'm going to be like, would I go? I don't know. I would have to think about it. So, because I never experienced there on a Saturday, all I can say is what happened on Sunday. And so the market opens at 8 and there's like nobody there. And so, which I was like, oh, this is a little different. Cause the first one the first market I did at a certain time, everybody came rushing in. And so, I was trying to figure out and watch and, observe other people to see, were they concerned about this? Were they not concerned about this? Finally, I did walk around and I did hear, this one woman say, oh, there should be more people than this. So I was like, uh-oh. And I did ask a man who worked there, like, it seems kind of empty. And he was just like, oh, well, most people, the crowd really starts at, 10:30. So part of me was like, okay, gosh, well, why did y'all have us get here at 8? So I was just like, uh-oh. So anyway, more people did come, like he said. So that particular location, you don't have a set space. So it's not like you get a map the night before, which is what happened with the Burlington County Agricultural Center. There, you got assigned your space once you got there. And so the earlier you get there, the closer you are to the parking lot. So obviously when people are coming in, they're going to look at those tables first and then make their way back. So the later you get there, the farther back you are. And so, so basically there were people who did get there at 8 o'clock, but because I was at the back, they start their way, at the front. And so it did take them a little bit to get back to where I was. So I actually did pull up on Square so I could tell you how the whole transaction thing went. So my first transaction was at 9:03. So basically I was there for a whole hour before I made a sale. So I made, let's see, I actually have the transactions I did. So I had 8 transactions over a 6-hour period. So yeah. So, so just for any of you guys who are wondering, so my first transaction was 9:03, then it was 9:12, 9:21, 10:21, 11:14, 11:15, 12:23, 1:46, and then my mom bought some stuff through my sister, and my sister took it back with her. So I ended up having 9 transactions that day. But in terms of that market, it looks like I counted it up. It looks like I sold 19 plants at that particular market. So, I thought I made a lot less than what I did. This is really the first time I've gone back and actually pulled these numbers. And so I'm really surprised because I didn't think, oh, wait a minute, something, guys. Now I realize why this number is so high. This number is so high because I forgot my mom purchased stuff. And so, okay, when I back out what my mom purchased, okay. Now I know why the number is so high, because I was like, I don't remember it being that high. That's right, because I looked at it right after the market, and my mom told my sister to buy something. It was like at 10:40 that night. So Okay, so that makes sense. So here's the thing. I mean, overall that day, I did. It's not the worst that I've done. In terms of venues, that's not the worst I had ever done. I did worse at Haddonfield, a lot worse. The thing that I noticed with this particular market is that there were two types of people. There were people who, I mean, first of all, because it's a mall, I don't know about you guys, but like, I go to a mall. I just window shop. I'm not necessarily intending to buy anything. Sometimes you just, I mean, you need to go to the mall to get one thing, and I'll just walk in the stores just because I want to see, see what's going on, what's trending these days. I mean, so there was a lot of people who were doing that, but then there's also a lot of people who, because did have that kind of flea market feel, they were looking for those bargains, so they were only looking to spend like a couple, maybe $10 or there's that sort of thing. So I did see a lot of people walking through, and I hate to say it this way, they're walking around with junk. I mean, and listen, I get it. One man's trash is another man's treasure. But some of the stuff people were buying, I'm like, what are you doing with that? Because it just like this one guy like had like this piece of wood, random piece. It wasn't like, I didn't even know. I'm like, it was just this random piece of wood. It was like people just had just an odd assortment of things. And so some of the things I could understand why people bought them, and some things I was like, okay, I hope your wife is happy with you. Because I would not be happy if you walked in the door with just a random board. Because it wasn't even like a nice board. It was just a board. So I was like, you know what? So anyway, I don't have flea market prices of my goods. And so, for a lot of people, I could tell that's just not what they were, that's just not what they were willing, to spend. The other thing is because the market was on a Sunday as opposed to a Saturday, I think a lot of people probably didn't come out because for other thing, it was also cold that day. So the day before when it rained, it only rained for like a couple of hours. So the weather was actually fine at 10. So if they could continue, had the market as scheduled, especially because most people came out at 10 anyway, the weather was absolutely beautiful. It was warm. It was the type of thing that with that weather, if I weren't at a market, I would have been somewhere gardening. And so I think I probably would have sold more just because it was a nice day. And people were like, oh, okay, I can take this and go home and plant it. But that Sunday, it was cold. I mean, you can see, from the fact that I'm wearing a hat, my sister's wearing a coat. It was a really, really chilly day. And so, a lot of people just may not have come out for that reason. So I did find out, somebody posted on, I can't remember if it was the Vintage Gardener account or something, but they did post and say that particular venue does cancel every time it rains. And so what I do in April market there, again, because it seems that they only do it in April. They don't do it during the summer. Would I go back there to do an April thing again? Probably not, because, April, it does rain. In the summer when we're not getting that rain, it may be worth it because the thing is, there was a lot of empty spaces. And so I think, with when a lot more vendors are there, it probably does draw a whole ton of people. So like I said, it wasn't the worst. So it was kind of funny because my sister and I were next to this older man, and he was an author, and he sold these books based upon some history and legends of the region, New Jersey region. And so he had a spiel, and it got to the point that we could quote it. As soon as he started talking, my sister started kind of like following along with him. And so it was kind of, but the thing is, his books actually did sound really interesting. And I'm going to have to ask her what the books are again, because I think he said that they were on Amazon, but he did manage to sell, because I think he had a series of like, I know, at least 7 books. It was probably more than that. And I think he sold all of the first book in the series, which is not a surprise to me. And then, like I said, on the other side, I had a girl who was doing trinkets, and she did have some, business. I wasn't really paying attention to what, she was doing. There was a woman who was across from me who did have a couple of plants, but I think they were house plants that she got too big that she had divided. She didn't have anything like what I did. And then somebody from the Seeds with Friends group did come out. And so, you know, that it's always nice to see people who follow you. So anyway, I'm just trying to think of anything. You know, all the technology worked well. I kind of felt bad because when I saw how the day was, you know, I mean, it was nice that my sister was there just because I had somebody to chat with, you know, for 6 hours. But, you know, because I only had 8 transactions over 6 period, it was one of those, you know, over 6 hours. That's something I could have easily, you know, done by myself. So, but like I said, it was I got to test out a number of functions on this display stand. So I did Visa, I did Cash, and then I can also take Cash App. So somebody paid with Cash App. So that was really interesting to see how that all, you know, that all went through. So I'm trying to think. I don't think anything else happened at that time. It was just, yeah, it was just, you know, it was just one of those things you live and learn. I mean, I made enough to cover the cost of my booth. And I think actually, you know what? When I'm looking at my thing now, with my first transaction, I made back the cost of my booth. So, you know, when you're doing this, that's obviously what you want to make sure you can actually cover what you paid for the booth. And I definitely did that. So from that standpoint, you know, it was worth it. And so, you know, it's just one of those things you live and learn. So I think that's it. I don't think anything else happened that day. And I think I took my sister out for dinner again afterwards and that sort of thing. So then the next week is I was back at the Burlington County Agricultural Center, and I will save that for another video. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions about the whole thing, just let me know, and I will answer it if I can. And just so you guys know, these videos, I'm telling you what happened back in April, because somebody posted, oh, I would have come out, and I'm like, wait, I didn't do it today. this was before. So this is April. I'm getting caught up now, so just so everybody realizes. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.